Hi everyone, it's Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm on time. How good for a Monday. We have a lot of little housekeeping bits before we get into our weekly reading. So just bear with me in all the bits, right? We're cruising into summertime, and that means schedule shifts and schedule changes. Hi. So today we'll be doing our weekly reading. We'll have housekeeping for Unicorn Wellness Studio first before we get into the weekly reading. Then today, it's no questions for today. Today's just us gathering as a community, listening to the weekly reading together. If there's questions about the week, hi Chris, then please ask. And then we'll kind of chit chat, a little bit about the moons also, and just kind of catching up on things. Okay, it's Monday. As you all get into the room, hi Paula. You guys say hi. Put a little emoji in. Like I said, there seems to be a lot of housekeeping today. It's an exciting Monday, so I've got all kinds of notes so I don't forget. But we'll give a little minute or two before everybody gets in the room, okay? Knowing that not everybody is here live with us, but I like to have the opportunity for unicorns to gather as a community. It carries a different energy. Good morning, Melinda. And I love to be able to be present with you for comments and questions in real time. My inbox is really full right now, and I'm working my way through it. So if you sent me an email in the last week, by the end of this week, you will have a reply. Hi, Joy. So there's that. And again, let's start with some of the basics. Okay. We're cruising into summer. Hi, Charlotte. And the schedule changes in my household because I got kids and school will be out. They're not out yet here in New York. So it's kind of this up, down of the calendar. Summer gets a little nutty for me also. In particular, I double up on shooting so that as a family, we can take the entire month of August off. So what does that mean for Unicorn Wellness? What does that mean for our lives and for our connections on social media? It means that there's going to be some shifting. Okay, tomorrow I will see you all on Tuesday for our lives as normal, and I'll take questions tomorrow. Okay. I'm going to go through the list, and you're going to go, I'm not going to remember all that. That's okay. I will put it in the description of this video and tomorrow's video, and then you can just check in on my Instagram because I'll keep it posted weekly, whether we're on or off. So, yes to tomorrow's live Tuesday if you want to join me. No next Monday because I have the live full moon event here in Carroll Gardens, and timing wise, I can't do both. Yes to next Tuesday, and next Tuesday we'll do both our weekly tarot and the full moon ritual together. No Tuesday the 25th of June. Yes, July 2nd. No July 9th, no July 16th, because that is also the full moon. So then we'll double up on the Monday before with our weekly and our ritual. No on the 23rd of July, yes on the 30th of July, and no Tuesdays in August, but I will be here every Monday in August, even when I'm on vacation, for our weekly live tarot. Now the times may need to adjust because I'll be in Spain, but I'll do the best I can to keep it to where it's at, okay? So again, I do not expect you to remember that. I just want you to know to check the Instagram stories mostly, and then the description below in this video to know, like, are we going to be together on Mondays or Tuesdays? So there's just a little bit of shenanigans because I have more filming to do. Because again, our home base is at Unicorn Wellness Studio. The big deal is to be getting on the mat, doing your workouts there, and to listening to your full, your new, and your monthly tarot readings there. These weeklies, they're so useful. And again, I like to be present for you all in a live context somehow. But you don't have to do all of these things in order to be a unicorn, right? The basis of the membership is the anchor of it, and the home base and the realness of it at Unicorn Wellness Studio. This is extra, and this is fun, right? Like, if we get to connect, when we get to connect, this is all extras, okay? So the schedule gets a little up down, but I'm posting it below, and I'll keep you posted in the Instagrammies, okay? Next, We have a batch of unicorns, members of Unicorn Wellness Studio. Yay! Yeah, Pearl. I mean, we keep trying to move to Spain, but we'll take it every summer if that's what we can do. So this will be the third year in a row. And yeah, it's like we got our eye on it because we really miss it. So there's also a batch of members on Unicorn Wellness Studio that are starting the reset today, and they've all kind of decided to be each other's support system. So if you've been side-eyeing, especially after my rant about the reset, I think about a week ago, you've been side-eyeing it, or it's like it's been the thing out there that you're like, I'm going to do it at some point. You could hop in. You could start any day this week, and you all could do it as a group and a collective, which is really nice for the support and for questions and just like flat out knowing you're not alone in the process. When you embark on the 41-day food reset, it is available either as a member of Unicorn Wellness Studio. You'll click on food or kitchen at the top, and then you scroll down on the left side. There's a little block, and you can download the whole thing in full. It's 87 pages because it's the component of what's also present in the Unicorn Wellness Handbook. So if you're not a member of Unicorn Wellness Studio, you can still do the reset. You need to buy the handbook. It's on Amazon, the Unicorn Wellness Handbook. And in the handbook and in the full 87 pages, I explain everything I've chosen and why, and the process behind it, the science behind it, and the holistic healing behind it. So if you're like, this could be an excellent time for you to do it because you will not be doing it alone. Every so often I host one, and we get a bunch of the community together to do it, but this has happened organically. So hop in. It is a game changer. It is a life changer. It is transformative. I didn't used to be so bold about saying those things, but watching it after so many years now, it is. In particular for bodies that have autoimmune issues and disorders, thyroid dysfunction. I have a thyroidectomy. I have celiac. So those with celiac, with Addison's and lupus, eczema, and psoriasis, if you do the reset as written, and I mean as written, don't go making adjustments to it. It don't need your help. Don't go tweaking things, and don't go thinking you can do it and like still have some extras. It won't do the same thing for you. It is gorgeous, whole, real foods. I call it farm food that resets and cleanses your gut and really sets a baseline for healing and thrival. So if you've got outstanding issues in any of those categories that I mentioned, go do the reset. If you're simply looking to make a shift in, a healthy weight on your body, like what I teach is not about being skinny, and it's not even so much about fitness. Fitness is about the manipulation of the physical body to get a result. We want results, but I want you all to have them in really healthy and bolstered and supportive ways. And the reset is like a number one with that. If you've been in a place where like you cannot shake a certain amount of weight, the reset is also a call to you because it resets your hormones, which is really like baseline. This is how you actually functionally release weight that no longer serves your body and that is hindering your health and your wellness. So look at the reset, think about it, because you'll have a community there. We have a private reset group on Facebook, but most of the new unicorns, we tend to just use the Unicorn Wellness Community private Facebook page, and people will post about it. You can ask questions and you can support each other. The first 2 weeks of the reset can be a little rough, not gonna lie. Okay. But that's when you need support. That's when you need to communicate. That's when you need to reach out. You just need to get through it, because past that 2 weeks, this is where magic happens. And there are transformations in wellness if you will really abide by what's written and then abide by what your food code is after that. Yeah, Jill. I mean, I got mad last week, and this is how sometimes things transition, right? We get anchored in anger sometimes, and it can be really constructive. I have not been pushing or really promoting or teaching the reset for quite a while, almost 2 years. I've kind of backed off of it. I got really exhausted because people were so resistant and frustrating. And I just went, okay, it's there. It's in the world. I have faith that it'll have its time. And when people need it, they'll find it, right? Like just find its way there. And for those of you who have done the reset, you also understand the beauty of you always have a place to come home to in order to reset again when you get a little too outside the rails. I genuinely live by my food code. I cannot survive or thrive without it. But even I get a little outside the rails when it comes to my espresso consumption or when it comes to chocolate. And so my sympathetic, like, partial reset with you all this week is that I've really pared down the amount of espresso and chocolate that I have been taking in, because it doesn't serve me well. We're all human. We've all got our thing. But it is built to balance hormones, the food reset. It is built to reset your gut and to heal your gut. So if leaky gut, if SIBO is a thing for you, like, these are all the, like, ringers that go, oh, I need this. It also is a do no harm food process. You don't have to have a diagnosed issue in order to embark on the reset and get benefit from it. And in fact, for those who have additional weight on their body that needs to be released, that's hindering their best wellness, often when you do the reset, there's a minimum of a 6-pound loss in the first week, and tends to be around that 20-pound mark, because you're getting rid of all the toxins, you're getting rid of all the antibiotics, you're getting rid of all the chemicals in the foods that you're currently eating, and your body releases and goes, oh, I remember what wellness looks like. I remember what health looks like. Here you go. So shout out to the reset. If you have questions, ask each other. If you have questions, ask me. Post them here, post them in the private Facebook group. Find me on Instagram. I am so hyper available. It really shocks me how little you all utilize me or each other. So just know that you can do that. I have gotten tired of, like, pushing people into it and encouraging them. It's frustrating because you want an answer, you want wellness, head to your food. But in this way, on the reset, I've done one of everything else. It's been about 6 years now that I have lived by it. And the only reason I'm capable of teaching you all and showing up for you all with celiac, with a thyroidectomy, with IBS, and a highly sensitive system is by living by the reset. Okay. And I really just feel like it's a shame that people don't invest more in the exploration of their food or the reset, because it's really transformative. Like, beyond transformative. And if you want to be honest, when we're looking for results in a body from a very clinical scientific point of view, results in a body physically, fitness wise, are 85 to 95% nutrition. So if you're really looking for body change and health and wellness, reset's where it's at. Okay. Yes. So Sarah just made a really good point. She said, especially because it's very hard to diagnose autoimmune issues. And I want to speak to that. For celiac in particular, because it's one of the ones I got, it is a minimum of an average of 9 years to get it diagnosed. Okay. And then when you talk about celiac, things have improved so much. There are more blood tests. There is the endoscopic scope. They can scrape the insides of your intestines. But the reality of that is they're still not 100% accurate. And in fact, they're often 75% inaccurate. You want to do the tests, and if the tests come back positive, for certain, hey, I got it. I'm going to go head down this path now. But if you've gotten the test done and they come back negative, that doesn't mean anything. So here's the deal. I'm just going to give a little bit of chat on this, because this is my life story, is that gluten intolerance, gluten sensitivity, and celiac are on the spectrum of the same thing. What ends up happening is that the more you endeavor and the longer you live with gluten, the more damage it does. Celiac means that you have had 75% damage to your intestines. That's all it means. And it means that there are now holes in the intestinal walls, that the villi that pulls nutrients have been smashed up against the walls, and that there's usually a blood-gut barrier and a toxin thing going straight into the bloodstream because of the damage in the intestines. So they all speak one to the next. So tests and science and medical is necessary, and your doctors are really important, but they are not everything, in particular when it comes to autoimmune disorders. They call it the silent diseases, right? The silent disease, because they present in such odd ways. So the reason I wrote the reset is because it was 12 years of research and personal, like, I'm going to the doctor, I'm going to practitioners, I'm getting the tests, I'm changing my foods. I've done Ayurvedic, I've done acupuncture, I've done herbs, and none of it made a big enough upswing that led me to a thyroidectomy, right? So what you need to understand is that we need to get more connected to the body, understand what the body is telling us. We can support it and nurture it and nourish it and actually heal it in much more powerful ways in combination with science or outside of science. So this is the power of the reset, why I get really emotional about it, because it saved my life. And I have members I know it saved their lives. and there were no other choices out there. And there are other good programs and good resources, but different bodies work in a different way. And I wrote the food reset because I had tried everything else, including AIP, right? And it only took me so far. It didn't really get to the healing point because my system was just a tiny bit different, as is yours, as is everyone else's. So the food reset is like a combination of, the baseline of AIP, the autoimmune protocol for paleo, but it is also mixed with Ayurvedic sensibility and traditional Chinese medicine. I believe in these systems. They've been around longer and they're smarter. And I do use it in tandem with direct science and Western medicine also. So I could talk about this all day, and I know you don't want to hear it all day, but it's powerful. And I have taken a pause because I got really frustrated. Sometimes I feel like I want you all to be healthier than you want yourself to be. And I have to just take a step back from that. It's there. It's available. It's always available. But sometimes you all need to be pushed and go, stop complaining, stop whining. You want to shift something. You want things to be different and better. Then it's time to do the reset. Okay. All right. Looking at these comments. Yeah. Oh my God. Paula. Yeah. And I'm going to share Paula's pictures and a bit of her story, hopefully soon. She's done 4 resets. Most of us do 3 minimum. And I really just live the reset at this point, but I'm still getting more and more foods back into my life because I've been diligent about it. Oh, Jill. Yeah. You totally lost 20 pounds. I forgot about that. And then what else? Yeah. Food is everything. It really is. I mean, this is what sustains us. So people who don't understand that food is so powerful, I'm like, why? And then I also offered up in this month's newsletter, like 4 documentaries that I really think every unicorn should watch. 1 talks about our food sources. 2 talks about the fashion industry, which interestingly enough talks about the food sources and the soils. And then the other 2, don't worry about those right now. But it is a big spectrum issue. It is important to listen to it, and it is cradle to the grave. So the sooner you can hop on the wagon of understanding your food code, the sooner you actually get to feel like you're living your life rather than just surviving it. And I know that's going to resonate because that used to be me. Okay. I'm taking a swig of water. So Katie just offered up that she lost 15 pounds on the reset too. I mean, I don't make promises, right? But this spectrum of 15 to 20 pounds, and I'm a tiny body. I have been heavier and carried much more weight in my life, but I'm a small body. When I did it, I didn't lose weight. I think there was maybe like 2 pounds. But I finally was like hungry and I was eating ravenously and like a ton of food and just finally felt vibrant. And if you read the reset, it'll go through that because you're finally absorbing nutrients like for the very first time in a long time, and your body responds to that. Okay, so shout out to the reset. If you know somebody in your life who needs to do the reset, share this video with them, send them the handbook, send them to the site, because if they use a guest code on the site for 30 days free, they can download the reset. I mean, y'all, I give because I want you all to have the tools, and I don't want there to be excuses to making real change in your life, okay? Or somebody else's life. All right, here we go. What else? Anybody who's new to the site who signs up in June, you not to use a promo code in June, and then your first month's paid membership to unicornwellness.studio, we will donate a portion of that membership to the Outer Lord Project in order of Pride Month. I don't think I said that in a very streamlined way, but new members signing up in June, portion of your first month's membership, your paid membership, will be donated to the Outer Lord Project here in Brooklyn to support Pride Month and the LGBTQIA community, okay? So that's like, I can't wait to see how this turns out. What else? Okay, last bit of housekeeping. I put an Instagram story up on it. So I have an offering for $33 3-card reading special this month in June, okay? So the 3-card readings are usually $45, I think. if I remember correctly. They take time, y'all. So I do your readings. There is uploading and exporting of the recordings. I take a photograph of the pictures for you. I do have files that I save all of these for you all and then email them to you afterwards. So there's time in them. So I offer these $33 card readings once a season, typically winter, spring, summer, and fall, because I always want them to be accessible. I think there was a little bit of confusion in this one, and perhaps I did not communicate it properly. So I'm going to take the responsibility for that. This $33 card sale, this special, only asks one question. What needs to be transmuted from information into wisdom in your life right now? Okay. It is not open for any question of inquiry, as I typically do in the readings, right? So if you have another question that you want answered this month, then you need to book the regular 3-card reading. So I thought I was being clear about it. Maybe I wasn't, and that's totally on me. So I just wanted to clarify that. You are welcome to book as many as you want, because that question could clearly be asked multiple times, right, to get into the goods. And what I let you all know in the Instagram story was that sometimes these specials I run are for the collective, for the greater good, right? For the highest and greatest good of all involved. Like, these are the questions that we need to be asking as a collective. And often, even as seekers, we want to know what we want to know. I got this going on day to day. I got this goal. I want to manifest this. And we're so focused on what we think we need that sometimes we miss what Spirit wants us to be looking at, where the highest transformation can occur in some really odd spots, okay? And so this one is something I've been guided to offer to you all, to encourage and to help you all to ask the deeper questions, to get away from some of the strife of the day-to-day, and to really be looking at a soul perspective, a karma perspective, and a self-ascension evolution perspective, okay? Any questions about that? Because that was one of the biggest ones. I mean, I love it when you guys book. I mean, it's so exciting because y'all are like in it. And I get it that when we do a sale, it's much more budget friendly. And I do them periodically to make it accessible. But this one, I kind of felt bad because I was like, oh man, we're not asking any question that we want to. We're asking this particular question because this is what the universe is pushing me to guide you all into right now. Okay? Everybody got quiet now. But that's what the offering is. And if you already booked and you put questions in the comments, it's okay. I'm going to reach out to you privately. We're going to figure it out. I'm not a jerk. Right? I try not. Actually, it's not true. Sometimes I am. But only in honor of keeping and setting a boundary. Right? So, okay. That's the housekeeping. Good, guys. Again, I think a lot of people booked it. It was totally fine, but I had a lot of people book it and then putting other questions in. I was like, was I not clear about that? And maybe I wasn't. So I'm sorry. Moons this week. I'm checking the list for moons. Today we're still in Virgo, so it's a great day to get stuff done. I'm already making my list and checking them off. We've got Libra, Scorpio, Scorpio moon, and then into Sag. Okay, so I love Virgo moons because it just like get stuff done. Libra moons can be a little tricky. I think it just calls for balance, right? Do I need to be looking at the collective for the higher and greatest good? Have I gotten a little navel gazing, internal, self-centric, which is useful a lot of the times? Or have I been so focused on the collective and the outside perspective that I've forgotten self-care and sensual pleasure for myself? So the bulk of the week's going to be sitting in this Libra energy of fairness and equality for all, sensual pleasure and self-care. So just watch out for that balance. Oh yeah, Jill, the moons move through pretty quickly. Yeah. So, I mean, this is the spectrum of this week. So we do the weekly reading, and I just give a shout out to how the moons are moving throughout the week. Yeah, they do. So this is kind of the thing. Like, some things move really slowly, like Chiron takes 8 years approximately to move through a sign. What else? Uranus that we're dealing with a lot of takes 8 years to move through a sign. Meanwhile, the sun's about 28 to 30 days in a sign, and 22. Are we in there right? My brain, relative terms of a month. And then we have the moon that moves through pretty quickly. So remember that the moon reflects our feelings, our emotional body. So we have our personal moon in our personal natal chart that says how we're instinctively wired, but where the moon sits really affects the feels of how we're navigating. And I say it a lot, right? I believe that it is the feels and the subconscious that's driving the bus, much as we want to participate with the cognitive brain, right? But so knowing where the moon placement is I think so helpful, especially for those of us with prominent water signs in the sun rising or moon setting, because we're going to be a little moonier than others. Okay, so knowing where the moon sits helps us navigate and balance. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's get into the reading, because that was a bit of a tangent, but it was a lot, and it's Monday morning, and there is a lot of shifting. My schedule doubles up for filming in the summer, and then I got my kiddos, and we're navigating, a million schedules in the house. So Facebook, private community, I'm still going to be in and out. I will probably be on Instagram more than anything else. But our lives here on YouTube will switch and then be off and on. But in August, you'll see me every Monday like clockwork. Okay? All right. Here we go. Weekly reading. And again, I'm going to say this because I hear it reflected back. I do put a lot out into the world. I always have. We've done the 30-day challenges. We've done the 30-day sessions. We do the weekly tarot. These are extras and offerings for you all. They're not have-tos. In my mind, the have-tos are what's happening at unicornwellness.studio. Getting on the mat is a non-negotiable for a unicorn, I feel. The guided meditation there should be a non-negotiable. And the monthly tarot readings to give you guys the overview. If you feel like there's too many pieces to the puzzle, you don't have to do these. Always go back to the membership, right, on the site. So don't get overwhelmed. That's not bad. Okay, here we go. Weekly reading for the week of June 10th through, what's the date? I can't remember. What is it, the 16th? Okay. Monday through Sunday. What do we have in store? And the 5-card reading, can be looked at as like a 48-hour kind of transition in between the week, right? It is an overview. Okay. And I'm using the new deck that I got in New Orleans. It's more of a traditional deck, and I need to put the box out because I can't remember the name. But I love it. I really love it. Spirit in which to move through things will be our Soul Space Oracle card. Spirit in which to move through things, out of the gate, okay. Is always like when we feel down, when we feel confused, when we're frustrated, when we feel like there's a dead end, we're like, we just don't get what's going on. This is the spirit in which to move through things, because there's no way out but through. There's always a lesson, and there will eventually always be a blessing, okay? And then today we're back to the goddesses. We were having such angelic energy, and today the goddesses were like, nope, it's us this week. So the goddess card also offers us the goddess that's protecting us, looking over us, who we can ask for protection and guidance. And sometimes I feel like this is like the goddess to embody this week, right? To go, this is the costume I'm going to put on, and I'm going to act as if, and I'm going to fake it till I make it, and embrace her qualities this week. Okay. Oh, good, Pearl. I'm glad you loved today's workout. Hello, Core. Just wait till you get to July. July is going to be a full core month. That doesn't mean we avoid other body parts, but it's going to be very core centric. Okay. Okay, here we go. Weekly tarot. So this is the theme of the week. This is where we're starting from, right? This is going to be the major theme of the week. This is Queen of Cups. Talk about goddess energy. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Any of the queens, I like it when they show up, right? Cups is about our emotions, right? This is about love, because love is the ultimate emotion. It's also the ultimate healer. There isn't anything that love really can't heal over time. Now, I get when you're in rough spots, that's a debatable conversation, but in aggregate, big picture, it is the truth. So the major thing that we're going to be working with this week is a balance of our energies, right? So the Queen of Cups sits in her empowered state of her emotions, knowing what she loves, what she stands for, being capable of communicating that, but also not being swayed or driven by her feelings. So in the Unicorn Wellness Handbook, I really talk about that, feels and feelings are different things, and different teachers express this in different ways. Okay, and so I really believe that our feelings, right, they teach us things, and we're human, and we're going to have all kinds of feelings. Feelings aren't always truth, right? But your feels are always truth. Feels are that gut instinct, that intuition, that deep mourning, loss, grieving, deep love, right? And so sometimes you're like, how do I know the difference between the two? So the Queen of Cups to me always calls for us to start to differentiate between the two, to really sit with your feelings, what's uncomfortable, what's angry, what's like really triggering you, and how to transform it into wisdom, into the feels. Acknowledging how you feel in the moment, but understanding you might be wrong. You might have learning and growth to do, or you might be really correct and you need to be bold and step forward and tell somebody else to back out of the boundary a little bit. So Queen of Cups tells us to embrace our regal self, to really be in ownership of our feelings and our feels, and to get more grounded, more rooted in our intuition, because all that water is all the psychic power and capacity and all of the messages and the flow of the divine universe. So it's always a call to more meditation. Hello, guided meditation on the site. And it also says to kind of be a little quiet and to sit back a bit. Queen of Swords, she can go marching into battle a bit. Queen of Cups needs to sit and receive. So there's messaging that needs to be received this week, and y'all need to get a little settled and more connected in meditation. Yeah. Okay. And drink some more water. There's a lot of interesting squares happening in the astrology. I don't go into all the details of it, but there's a pull of some things and some crankiness and some sassiness and some anger that's going to come up. Water will always help cool inside and out, and even emotionally, it can help get into the flow of things a little bit better. Okay, so just hear that. That's a beautifully empowered card. She's also got all the mermaid and I think those are dolphins in here. Is today the day the workout's like super mermaidy? There's a couple towards the end in this month that are like a lot of mermaid work, and a lot of dolphin work. It was very oceanic. I'll have to go back and look at that. I wonder if that's this week. Who knows? Okay. Next best steps for your highest and greatest good this week. This is the Magician. Okay, so major arcana. You've got 3 major arcana cards this week, which means this week is big. I did my personal weekly poll this morning. I think there were 3 major arcana cards too. You can go check my Instagram. It was like 2 or 3, and I was like, oh, big week. Okay. This is a transformation week in the ethers. So it's like we do need to be a little quieter, a little more stepped back, a little more balanced, and a little more tuned in. I do know that the energies of the ethers, regardless of the astrology, are really pulling and really inputting big energy. So just slow down. That's like, just slow down. Slow and steady wins the race. So next best steps forward for your highest and greatest good this week is the Magician. Now remember that the Magician is the manifester. They can make anything because they understand what it takes to bring something into manifestation. And that's a balance of all of the suits, right? Cups, swords, wands, pentacles. So when you understand how to balance the major elements in your life, then you can manifest. You do have to have all 4 aspects covered in order to bring something into fruition. And there's a push on this card too for this 3-card reading special, or this topic of it. What needs to be transformed from information to wisdom? So the downside of the Magician is the trickster. They kind of think they know everything. Like they're the hoodwink magician that's like my kids have like the pen that comes apart and they're like sticking it in their ear and it looks like the pen's been jabbed through their ear. That's not real magic. I mean, you know what I mean? It's the trickster of like, I'm tricking you into believing something. So the magician is also the call out to go, what are you tricking yourself into believing? This is where June's energy is out, of transitioning from information into wisdom. Where are you pretending? Where are you tricking yourself? Where are you focusing for manifestation, but you're not really doing the work and you're not really doing the goods to get there, right? It's always a 50-50. You have to be on task in order for the universe to sweep in to help support your manifestation. If you're just wishing, the swoop is not going to happen. So the next best steps this week is really to dig into this question. What needs to be transmuted from information to wisdom in my life? Where am I being blindsided? Where have I put blinders on? Where have I become the ostrich and I'm just not looking that direction? And because I'm looking in the tarot and because I'm carrying my crystals, I think everything's going to turn out okay. There is a moment where you got to get real about stuff and go, shit, that's really not going the right direction. And all of my hoping and meditation, it's not enough right now, right? A moment of clarity. So this 3D incarnation requires work and requires effort sometimes. And I'm not saying to overwork yourself, but the magician calls to just getting things in order. Where are you? This is what it is. This is about getting things in order. This is about looking at what's out of balance. That's all, to get you back on track, okay? Biggest steps for your highest and greatest good this week. I mean, she is a card that won't quit. Can you see? Trying to get... These cards are so beautifully light that sometimes this light is weird. Can you see that? This is the star card. So this card always says to wish big, right? Because even if you miss, you land on a star. There we go. So the star card is super important, that this week, midweek, that you really focus on what you want, that you make that big old wish, right? This is connected to Aquarius, solving for the highest and greatest good of all. This is the activist. This is the philanthropist. This is the humanitarian. This is also brilliant ideas. And this, I don't think this means that there's a brilliant idea that's coming. There's an idea that you've really had that now it's time you put full intention on it. And make sure that the cosmos know that you are invested in heart, in spirit, and in practical 3D doing. Okay? Yeah. I mean, this one's cool because she's pouring water on the earth and back into the pond. And it's always about that balance of, humanity and divinity. 1 foot on the earth, 1 foot in the water. So there's a big old water vibe here this week. I think this is kind of pointing to the end of the week because that's that Scorpio moon. Scorpio moons, I always kind of side-eye and go, what's that going to be like? Scorpio moon can be rough because Scorpio is the depths, the things we don't want to look at, things we don't want to talk about. I think there's going to be some breakthroughs. I had one this weekend where you're like, that wasn't, yeah, okay. But then you just turn it back around to being useful and you harness it and you go, okay, that's fair. All right, let's go work on that. Hi, Vanessa. Okay, assets of this week. I love to see this as an asset. This is 7 of Swords, okay? And as an asset, right? Like 7 of Swords often shows, was this in last week is like something to work on? Passive-aggressive behavior, manipulation, trying to take what's yours when it's not time, when, hey, it's actually not really yours. This, 7 of Swords can happen when we're getting impatient with divine timing and we feel like I've been working so hard as the victim and I'm just going to go manipulate things into my behalf or go take what's mine. That's not how it works. This is in the assets spot. So meaning that the asset of the week is that we're learning our way out of it. We are getting more patient. We can take a breath and go, ooh, those feelings of I'm going to go snatch up what's mine that I've been waiting a lifetime for. We go, I see that. I feel that. Go meditate, go get on the mat. And then I'm going to be patient and put some more practical things in task. This can also be a call to asking for help. That's the loudest piece of this. Instead of trying to just do everything on your own, take what's yours, little chicken little running around with their head cut off. I am so this person sometimes. That we are learning how to ask for assistance. We are learning how to ask for support. We are learning how to ask for help. That's fantastic. That's a big deal. Okay. Outcome of the week. another major arcana card. In a 5-card spread, and you've got 3 major arcana cards, this is not a light week. Meaning, I don't think it's going to be bad, but it has a lot of weight, energetically, karmically, spiritually. Okay, this is the Lover's card. Okay, so the Lover's card is always about soulmate relationships. It doesn't have to be amorous. This is relationships with people that you've gone rounds and rounds with, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And so these are powerful relationships. I think Venus is in Gemini right now. If you have Venus in Gemini in your natal chart, often this can really signify a lot of loving relationships, a lot of friendships, right? And so this is the placement for the greater cosmos collective right now. That the end of this week is going to feel like people communing together and kind of coming together for the greater good, but also in support of you. So it's like, hey, you're asking for help, you're being honest, can't do it all. And people are like, yes, I'm totally on your team. What do you need? Or can I do this for you? So the outcome of the week is going to feel more connected with, so I hear, soul relationships, because in this deck too, it's 3, it's not just 2 people, that you need to recognize that we're in another stage of being gifted, regifted, relationships in our lifetime. So about a year ago, I said the same thing. And I'm sure there's probably a phase in there again, but the last few years have really put on people out of nowhere into our lives that we immediately feel like they're our best friends. We're like, that was like 2 seconds of conversation. And it may have been 2 seconds of conversation on social media. Like, trust these feels of being deeply connected to people at a soul level, because you are being, oh, good, Kayla, you guys are being regifted relationships because of the karmic spiritual work that you've been doing. Because then it says we got to move some of these relationships out, and we all go through a dry spell in our spiritual ascension process as we recalibrate, as we bring in new energy. And as we bring in new energy, then the universe says you magnetize, like attracts like. So you have relationships that come in that really support you, that really feed your soul, that there's like this deep knowing and understanding from the other person where you're like, I don't need to catch you up on my whole history. We can talk, but we're going to move forward together. It's the together we rise sort of aspect that the end of this week is going to have this, which I find really interesting also, because it's going to be a Scorpio moon towards the end of the week. And sometimes Scorpio moon can be a little surly. So watch out at the end of the week for feelings of jealousy. Yeah. Okay, that's for some of y'all out there. Feeling like other people have these miraculous relationships, these beautiful, inner circles and communities, and you don't have them yet, right? Because this could be like the imbalance of this. Just it's cranky, it's surly, and it's jealous, and those are real feelings. But just try to remind yourself, try to get into that space of it's not your time yet. It's not the divine timing to have those regifted. There's still more work and more integration to do, that they will come. Have faith, Yeah. Okay. I like that one. All right. Spirit in which to move through things. Warrior. So it's not going to be this breezy week, right? But this first card said step back. Don't go pushing. Right? I really feel that this warrior card is about warrioring for yourself internally, getting really honest. I think some of us can very much warrior in a constructive way for others, in protection, in service of others. But we're not always good about pushing the boundaries for ourselves. And I think this magician card is like, no, you need to dig. You need to be honest. There's going to be something you're not doing so well, and you need to make recognition of that in yourself, not for shame and blame, for recognition, transmutation, and for educating, learning, and doing it better now. Like, it's like calling yourself out. Like, we just haven't done this, so let's just go do it. Okay. So again, I don't want you to hear warriors like you're warrioring on yourself or on other people. This is like the way of the silent warrior, right? More meditation, more commitment, more awareness to self and to deep, I think this is a beautiful week, but I think the end of the week could be a little little darker for some of y'all that are kind of plumbing the depths of what's out of balance. I think that you may come up with some jealousy towards others, what you're seeing happening in their lives or what you think is happening in their lives, because IG is like not real life. We try. I think there's a lot of us who try to present real life, but there's always work, there's always pain, there's always sadness, right? And I feel like there's going to be some jealousy come up, but allow the jealousy to really pick and poke at what you want. Usually what we're jealous of in other people is like, we want what they've got, one version of it or another. So get into the honesty. Don't let the trickster just take you for an egoic ride, right? Allow it to go, oh, that was a flag that I need healing in that space. What can I integrate? And one of the best ways of healing is go, I see that. Oh, I'm going to try to love that. I don't like that feeling. I'm going to unfollow them because that's just not putting good stuff out there. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on self-love. I'm going to work on unconditional love. I'm going to work on loving on what I'm doing and creating. And if I don't love what I'm doing and creating, then I need to make a wish, set new intentions, create new endeavors, something that I really can get behind and love. So I'm not looking at somebody else's homework. Okay. Okay. Goddess of the week. I like her. This is Arakura, blossoming. You are just getting started, so have patience with yourself and the process. Do not give up. Yeah. Just be patient. It's not time yet. You're on your way. You know, let's read the rest of Arakura. She's beautiful. In many ways, you are like a flower bud who is ripe and ready to open and grow. Don't try to rush this process as it's part of your beautiful path. Enjoy learning new knowledge and skills. Take your time to gather new skills and new ideas. Nurture your body with plenty of fresh air, sunshine, water, and healthful foods. Hello, Reset. Soon enough, you'll get the unmistakable signal that it's time to put your learning into action. Spend time among flowers or work with flower essences and oils to support your growth process. Okay, and y'all, listen. Various meanings of this card. Slow down. Have patience. I mean, I cannot make this stuff up. Get involved with gardening. Use aromatherapy or flower essences. Keep the faith. Okay, Arakura is a Celtic and Germanic goddess who multitasks as an earth mother deity, a fairy queen, and also a bridge between earthly life and the hereafter. She helps us put our goals and challenges into perspective so that we don't needlessly stress ourselves. Call upon her for emergency money or help in manifesting supply. She's especially fond of assisting artists and inventors. Artists and inventors. And then look at these two. Look how similar they look. I mean, so beautiful. I love this new deck so much. You know, it really is this unfolding. And I don't know if you guys have, I mean, I'm sure you realize this, but until I heard it, I didn't really think about it. The butterflies, you know, if they're cut out of their cocoon too soon, they can't survive, right? So just go back to the butterfly, go back to the flower. Flowers bloom at certain times. Each flower has a different season. Yes, Kim, we totally have, you know, so there are, again, look at, that's a beautiful thing to recognize that Arakura has been pulled in the past 3 or 4 weeks, that there is an unfolding happening, that there are cycles within cycles. And I know we're all exhausted. Especially after last year's cycle on a Gregorian calendar, 2018. 2019 offers the blessings, but there's still work because blessings come from lessons. So it's like, I do feel like we're in constant unfoldment. It's like constant blooming, and then it's like back to tumultuous. Like, again, butterflies are great because, you know, the caterpillar crawls in, spins, and then emulsifies in there and then becomes a butterfly and doesn't push out until its wings are really strong enough to carry it, right? We have to have more permission and more empathy and for ourselves. Like this, we're so hard on ourselves. I mean, this is like the modicum of something I try to assist with in this lifetime. There's so much judgment. There's so much shame. There's so much guilt. We got to knock it off. And it can sometimes just be like, just knock it off. Don't do it. Recognize where you're tricking yourself. That's okay. We are human. We're doing it. I promise. Then just go, I'm not going to take on shame or guilt for that. I'm human and I didn't know. And now I know better. Now I'm going to do better. And I'm just going to move forward. What are the steps that move me forward into the better? Because there is no perfect. Perfection does not exist. It is the thing that holds us down. So, like, for those of you who are in the room, those of you that are on unicornwellness.studio, those of you who are, doing the work at unicornwellness.studio, you are dropping more and more of that shame and guilt every day simply by being in process with the practices. But sometimes you need cognitive recognition and that synthesis of going, oh, that's where I put this, that's where the blinders are, so that you can unfold again. And it requires self-care. It requires rest. Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. You guys can remind me if I forget. Self-care, right? It's not self-indulgence. It's not about buying a face mask that we peel off and throw into the landfill. I can't stand those things, you guys. It's, we also need community care. We need to take care of each other. I see you. Again, doing the reset together is powerful, right? Because then all the whiny complaining is, you're like, well, those people can get it together this week. Why can't I? You can, right? And we do, as a collective, honestly, have a lot of first world problems. So the things that we're often whining about, we really need to step outside of them big time, because there are bigger things at play that we need to go help with, right? Team Reset. Vanessa, Sea Sprite Spoonie, she will be your captain for Team Reset. Okay, that is your reading for the week. Today got very verbose, but there's a lot to pass on. So it's just really beautiful. I want you all to hear, that you need to give yourself permission to not feel guilty. It is time to let go of things. It is time to move on. It is time to do it differently. And it's time to have this, there's like a reckoning of self right now that's available, and that your team can show up for it. Now, I also understand that with the reckoning comes some of the not comfortable feels. I had this happen myself this weekend, but I was really grateful for it, because I went, oh, that hasn't happened yet emotionally. Okay. And it felt very empowering to feel this, to have the blinders taken off in a certain way. I don't know if that makes any sense. I always share my experience because I want you all to understand I don't have all the answers. I'm going through all of it with you, and that I'm coaching you as we go through it together. It is important to do this work. It's important to transform. It's important to learn. It's important to self-evolve. Like, it's powerful. Okay. So don't ever doubt the power of getting to know yourself better and being willing to drop old ways of doing things and trying something new. That is what literally changes the world, doing things differently and doing the things we're really scared of doing. Okay. Slow down, mama. You guys all need the reminder to slow down. I need the reminder. Also, teachers tend to preach what they need to learn, right? I do practice what I preach, but I get caught up in the spiral and the busy and the hurry also. So again, when it comes to scheduling, this is where I'm giving myself permission. I'm not going to feel guilty or weird about not showing up for you all on certain Tuesdays or in August. In order for me to sustain support for you all for the rest of the year, I need this amount of time off in order to prepare, right? And recover. So just start looking at things in these ways, and it takes time and it's not super easy, but it's possible. And I'm going to support you every step of this path. And you guys are supporting each other, which is the coolest thing. Okay. If you will please click the like button on this video, I would ever be so grateful. If you have not subscribed to this channel just yet, please do. If you want to click the bell, if you haven't yet, it might be a really good time to click the bell, because our Monday, Tuesday schedule is going to be wonky now through July. And then in September, I'll be back in, but I think the bell's a good idea right now. I know sometimes it can get annoying. I'm like, oh my God, she's live all the time. I know, but we're going to have some spotty stuff. So this is where its usefulness comes in. Okay. If you all are willing to share this video, literally just sharing it to a general Facebook page or a general Instagram or Twitter, please. I love you all so very much. If you love the work of Unicorn Wellness Studio, if it has helped your life, please at some point give it a little shout out, share it. This is the life. This is the lifeblood of it. And people genuinely do not know about it unless you all are sharing. It has always been a hand-to-hand combat business, meaning that like people don't really come to the site unless they're introduced to it by somebody who really loves it. So please and thank you. I love you all very much. Thank you for spending your Monday with me. I will see you tomorrow, so 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, and I'll take questions tomorrow. Okay. If you want to book a personal reading, head over to tandygutierrez.com. If you want to sign up for membership at unicornwellness.studio, do it. You can use a promo code in June. Anyone signing up and subscribing, becoming a member in the month of June, your first paid month, $4 of that will be donated to the Audre Lorde Project in honor of Pride Month. So there's that also. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. I love you. I hope that made sense. And you all are always welcome to ask questions about this week of like, how might this play out? What do you hear about this? It's a big, powerful week. Go slow, go quiet, but dig in there. Scorpio new moon's calling. Not new moon, Scorpio moon at the end of the week is calling to kind of dig for transformation. And I did. I had one of those moments where I got really scared and I was like, oh, that is an emotion I have not connected to this before, but it's helped. So just know that even the scary stuff can really help. Okay. All right. I love you guys. I'm signing off. I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Go get on the mat if you haven't been already.